episode 3 of the Like a Mama podcast by me, Yana. This is where we discuss motherhood, faith, marriage, health, and more, you name it. Today we're going to be talking about all the positive things about motherhood. It's 2025, it's a new year. Let's start on the right foot. And besides, I myself need some positivity. There's so many things that we could focus on that can bring us down or that are difficult, that we struggle with, that are negative, but let's focus on just the positives of motherhood. There's a bunch. And to start, I'm going to share a list that I wrote. And I'm just going to read this off. So, motherhood is special. Motherhood is surreal. Motherhood is rewarding. Motherhood is unbelievable. Motherhood is selflessness. Motherhood is growth. Motherhood is joy. Motherhood is pain. Motherhood is a reminder of the Banaya and her love, sacrifice, and faith. Motherhood is like no other, made for the strong, a calling to be soft but brave. I truly believe in every single statement I said just now about motherhood. I became a mom in August 2021 to my wonderful son. And then I was blessed enough to become a mom to another son in March 2023. And it changed my life forever. Motherhood just really does change your life in the best ways. And sometimes it can feel like it changes them for the worse. But then when you look back, you realize that it's not a bad change. It's just making you a better person. It's like clearing all the selfishness out of you and really helping you be a better person, and just basically you're given the best gift ever. You've become a mom. You held life in you. You helped your baby grow. You gave birth to your baby. You nurtured your baby. You raised your baby into a child, and then your child becomes a teenager, and then your teenager becomes an adult. And who we are as people, as adults, makes up the fabric of the world. And that's so important. It really is so important. So really, the world, people in the world, like, it all starts at home. It starts in the family. It starts in how you were raised. It starts in how your mom, how your father raised you. So yeah, motherhood is just so special, and it's just like, it's out of this world. It really is, to say the least. You know, the holidays pass, like Christmas Eve, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's. I love that time of year. It's busy for sure, and then it slows down around New Year's. And going into the new year, a lot of people think like, okay, that's it, like new year, new me. But I feel like when you let go of the pressure to go into a new year like that, it really makes life better. And you can apply the same exact thing to motherhood. When you're finding yourself transitioning into a new part of your journey in motherhood, like your baby becomes a toddler and is starting to be like more independent and all that, like, you can have the mindset of like, okay, that's it, like, I can't make as many mistakes, or I can't make any mistakes. But like, no, you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to have days where you feel like you're not enough, or like where you struggle, and you're going to have awesome days that like flow very well, and like you feel like you were very present, or you didn't like yell at your kid too much. You know, we have to just remember that we're human beings at the end of the day. And you know, if you're trying your best and you love your child, have grace with yourself. And everything I'm saying to you listening, like, I'm reminding myself about, because I need it every day. I need those reminders, I need God. I cannot do it without God. And yeah, motherhood is just a place where we continue to learn, and we have our struggles, we have our joys, we have our ups and downs. But let's focus on the positives. Like I said, let's get back to the main purpose of this episode. So I realized out of preparing for this podcast episode, like writing my notes and everything and going through like inspirational quotes and things I always wanted to share. Like I was just like so excited to share. After all was like said and done, like doing my notes and like thinking about it, I realized that the main thing I drew out of it was that mothers are incredibly powerful, and the work they do has incredible potential to produce power. So I'll say that again. Mothers are incredibly powerful, and the work they do has incredible potential to produce power. If we break that down, it literally means that motherhood is just amazing. It's incredible. And that is because mothers are incredibly powerful human beings, and what they do, like literally giving birth, nurturing, taking care of their babies, protecting their babies, has the incredible potential to produce power, like to produce amazing human beings that love God, amazing human beings that will help people. You know, I think it all boils down to like what values you're instilling in your child. You know, one day you're not going to be here as their parent, and nobody knows like how long they will be on this earth for. But like for as long as you live, you should really try to, you know, raise your child in the best way possible. And I really do believe that the best way to raise your child is to give them a foundation in God. No one can take that away. If they know God from the very beginning, from a really young age, it's beautiful. Like it is just so beautiful, and it's so comforting to us moms, because we know that no matter what happens in life, no matter what they face at any age, they know that they have God. God has their back through anything and everything. And even the day that you're not around, whenever you're not around, you pass on, they have God. Like, yes, they won't have their mom, their parent, but like they have their rock, their support, the creator who created them and actually loves them more than we love them, if you can imagine. And it's so good to like tell your kid that, no matter how young they are, even if they're like, 2 years old and they don't really talk much yet, talk to them, explain that to them, because it's beautiful and it's important. So I shared a bunch of positive things about motherhood, things that I think are positive about motherhood. I'm going to read a couple of quotes that I found. So this quote is by a man named Andy Stanley. He's the son of Charles Stanley, who was a former pastor and founder of In Touch Ministries. So Andy Stanley said, "Your greatest contribution to the kingdom of God might not be something you do, but someone you raise." And when I found that quote, I was like, wow, how many times have I thought like, I don't have the right career, or I feel like I'm not doing anything that's like giving me passion and like making a huge difference. But when I became a mom, it happened sooner than I thought it would. I was still knew I was hoping I was going to become a mom like within the year or two that I got married. But like my point is, once I became a mom, I just never realized how fulfilled I would be and how satisfied I would be. Like, yeah, it's right now I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've been a stay-at-home mom with my kids, and like I don't literally go into a job. I haven't literally started my career, but like this is my job. And I'm literally like shaping adults who will help, make up the workforce one day, who will help run the churches hopefully one day. Like I want to raise gentlemen who are strong and close to God and love God with all their heart. But yes, that quote says, your greatest contribution to the kingdom of God might not be something you do, but someone you raise. It's just so amazing. I love that quote. Let's see. Okay, I found this quote as well. I like this one a lot. It's by someone named Stephen Kendrick. He says, you're not disciplining your kids. You're raising people who will help take the gospel to the ends of the earth. You're building a great cathedral. Again, that relates to the previous quote. So that quote says, you're not disciplining your kids. You're raising people who will help take the gospel to the ends of the earth. You're building a great cathedral. Take the gospel to the ends of the earth. Take the gospel, take God, the word, the truth, to the ends of the earth. It sounds extreme. It sounds like, what? My kids are going to take the good news of God and all he stands for to the ends of the earth? I mean, literally when you hear that, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so dramatic. But yeah, wherever they go, they're going to be a light. They're going to be the salt of the earth when they have God in them and people see God working through them. Okay, that was a great quote. Now, this is a quote that I wish another mom reminded me of every day. It's from an Instagram post from the account at Revive Our Hearts. I love this account. And they wrote, Dear Mama, the enemy wants to tell you that what you're doing doesn't matter, but God has strategically positioned you wherever you are for his glory, for such a time as this. I love that quote. I'm going to read it again a little faster. Dear Mama, the enemy wants to tell you that what you're doing doesn't matter, but God has strategically positioned you wherever you are for his glory, for such a time as this. And in my notes, when I wrote down this quote, I underlined and circled specific words and phrases because they are just so important. Like when you really, really, really focus on what this says, it has it's just beautiful. It has so much intention behind it. And really believe it because it's true. Believe it, and it will become a part of your thoughts, and then it becomes a part of who you are as a mom, as a person. So God has strategically means like you have a strategy. You have this specific part for that specific thing, this thing for that purpose. That is strategized. That is strategic. God, literally, the creator of the whole universe, who created every single person you know, you, me, everyone you know, strategically positioned you, Mom. Strategically positioned you, Mama, exactly where you are. Exactly in that home, taking care of that one child. Exactly in that home, taking care of all 5 of your kids. Exactly where you are, taking care of that one kid that has a disability. Wherever you are, full-time stay-at-home mom, part-time stay-at-home mom, a single mom, a married mom, like wherever you are in life, as a mom and the person, but now we're talking about motherhood, you were strategically placed there. God strategically positioned you wherever you are for his glory. For his glory. That's quite literal. I mean, to some people that may sound like, really religious or something, but when you reach a point of getting deep in your faith and like, you know, when you reach that point where you like understand the wording more and like what they mean, what it means, you'll get it. So for his glory means like doing things in this life to praise God. Like it's all for his name. It's not for glorifying myself and being like, oh, look at me, look at what I've done, like I did that, I did this, yeah, I have the strength, I did it all. No, God allowed it to be done through you, and the only way it happened is because he allowed it. So for his glory, for God's glory, for such a time as this, I love that, for such a time as this. And then, oh, hold on. Hold on. That is the quote from that Instagram. But there is something else here that I wrote under that quote. Okay, this is another quote. Holy Church. So it says, you're not preparing meals, you're training up leaders of the next generation. Okay, apologies. So that was the quote that I love from the account at Revive Our Hearts on Instagram, the Dear Mama one, that ends with, for such a time as this. But going back to the quote that I said before this by Stephen Kendrick, he says, he started it with this. So this is the full quote. This is the beginning to the end. He says, you're not changing diapers. You're raising world changers. You're not preparing meals. You're training up leaders of the next generation. And then it ends with the quote I read before this. You're not disciplining your kids. You're raising people who will help take the gospel to the ends of the earth. You're building a great cathedral. So from beginning to end, the guy Stephen Kendrick said, you're not changing diapers. You're raising world changers. You're not preparing meals. You're training up leaders of the next generation. You're not disciplining your kids. You're raising people who will help take the gospel to the ends of the earth. You're building a great cathedral. Great quote. It's so positive, and it like just it highlights like the strength of motherhood, and like how we think we're doing these small mundane things, especially like every day, but they're huge things because they're helping, literally they're keeping your baby alive while also nurturing them with love and care and goodness and God. Like just raising your little babies as a Christian mom is just so beautiful. Hopefully it produces so much fruit. I just love this quote so much. So yeah, I shared a few quotes there, and I also want to highlight that although we're talking about all the positive things about motherhood, when you're trying to focus on the positive, you're going to get hit with distraction from the enemy. Like Satan literally hates when you are like focusing on goodness and God and positivity because he wants you to get in a rut and stay there. He wants you to have a terrible attitude, one where you don't appreciate anything, where you keep getting like down in the dumps, or like you fall into depression or whatever it is. So that being said, I have this quote that I really wanted to share. It's by the Instagram account at Dainty Customs, or they shared it. I'm sorry, I don't know if they wrote it, but they shared it. At Dainty Customs shared, train your mind to hear what God is whispering, not what the enemy is shouting. So again, a post by at Dainty Customs on Instagram shared, train your mind to hear what God is whispering, not what the enemy is shouting. So mom, when you're doing those dishes and the dog's barking and your child is just like crying like crazy, like because they want more food and you're not moving fast enough and you have so many things to do, try your best to listen to what God is whispering to you. He's saying, It's okay. Don't panic. One thing at a time. Take a breath, one thing at a time. It's chaotic right now, but it's okay. This moment, this breakfast time, this time of day will pass. Just believe in me. I got you. While Satan is like, oh my gosh, move faster. Like, you don't have this. Look at what you do. The dog's barking. The baby's crying. Look at your full sink of dishes every day, day in and day out. You can't do this. Just give up already. No. You're going to train your mind to hear what God is whispering. Really, he's saying it, but it seems like a whisper because it's kind of hard to like really focus on it. And maybe the noise of the enemy got so loud because like you trained your mind to just like keep, repeating and saying out loud, like, oh, like having a bad attitude. No, we're going to train our minds to hear what God's whispering and not what the enemy is shouting. He's shouting it because he does not want you to be positive. He does not want you to see the goodness in your daily motherhood journey despite the struggle. So altogether, what I gathered in preparing for this episode, number 3 of Like a Mama podcast, is that I wanted to list all the positive things I could think of about motherhood and be like as real as possible. Because let's face it, it's hard out here. There's no hood like motherhood. But yeah, I wanted to list all the positive things about motherhood. But in preparing for this episode, like I mentioned in the beginning of this episode, I realized that the most positive thing about being a mom, the most positive thing about motherhood is that mothers are incredibly powerful. And the work they do has incredible potential to produce power. And although I didn't mention God or Panaya in that, all glory to them because they give us the strength, and Panaya is, God gives us the strength, and Panaya is a perfect example of the perfect mother. She literally was pregnant with and gave birth to and raised the Son of God, like God himself, Jesus. How amazing is that? Right? Hang on. So yeah, like one of the bullet points I said in the beginning of this episode about motherhood was that motherhood is a reminder of the Panaya and her love, sacrifice, and faith. Her love for God, to obey God, to carry out what he asked her to do, be the mother of God. Her sacrifice, like she said, okay, yes, God, I'm going to do it. Although, it's a big thing to be asked to do. And then when she saw her son suffering on the cross, when Christ was crucified, that was probably so difficult for her. I'm sure she faced so many sacrifices or like struggles. I say sacrifice. I don't know if that's the best word to use, but that's what came to mind. So I just can't imagine what she went through. Like, forget it. And faith, like I just mentioned, she had immense faith. Like, she is a prime example of having perfect faith in God, being a godly woman. That's who we should look up to, honestly. I may sound like like an old school grandma, an old school yaya, but I don't care because it's true. Like that, she is the best mother example, the best mother we should look up to every day. But yes, motherhood is like no other. It's made for the strong, a calling to be soft but brave. It's really an honor. It is a blessing. It's special. It's amazing. You, as a mom, you get to see your child or your children, and it's literally half you, half your spouse, and like, a mix of cool genes and characteristics from like maybe other family members and family members we never even met or knew. And like, it's just amazing. It's wild. It's amazing what we can do. Women can literally be pregnant, give birth, and just be moms. It's just so incredible what God created us to do. And one thing I want to share is like, I'm sure you've heard that like once you become a mom, you have no life. That's not true at all. It's not true at all, because like you have more life. What I found in motherhood is like I became stronger. Like that term mama bear, like I feel like I became that once I became a mom. Like I don't want anyone to mess with my kid. Like I may not be like the loudest person and like, I don't know, come off aggressive or anything, like no, but I don't care. Like for my kids, I'll do anything, and like I'll also do anything to raise them in the best way I can, and like to raise them with God. That's part of being a mama bear. You want to protect your kids and you want to bring them up right in the best way possible, the best way you believe. I truly think that, you know, motherhood brings out maybe your strongest self. Like I've never felt stronger in my life. I've never felt stronger. Like after any accomplishment or any workout or anything like that, I've never felt like more sure of myself or strong. And like I've felt like unsure of myself since becoming a mom at times, especially like when I struggled with like my like I feel like I didn't know what kind of like sense of style I had anymore, you know. But you go through that and then you come out of it and you like feel confident again. But yeah, a really positive thing is like the confidence and the strength you get from becoming a mom. That's what I think. It's a godly confidence because, you know, God gives us the strength to carry on and to take care of our kids and just to be moms, you know. But yeah, motherhood does not equal, oh, you have no life. If anything, it sure can take away freedom to like just like get up and go, get a manicure, pedicure at any time of the day or night, like I would do when I was pregnant with my first child. But listen, you find ways to incorporate that in your life after you become a mom. And like for me, I like juggling things and I like challenges. So I'm kind of like bring it on. I like the challenge of like figuring out how to like juggle everything and like still make time for myself. I should make more time for myself at times. And like I want to like, you know, really better my relationships with like friends or family. You know, to have more of a social outlet. But like where was I going with this? Yeah, there's still freedom in motherhood. There's free, because you could still be creative, you could still express yourself through like your style or a hobby or anything like that. And then you have your kids to like watch you, and like they can learn from you, and maybe they can pick up a hobby or a sport or something that you love to do. It's really cool. It's just amazing to just look at your child and be like, wow, like how are you alive? I created you. God created you, but like you came from me, and now I get to watch you grow and raise you how I want to raise you, and I get to like do your hair how I want to do your hair and dress you how I want to dress you, and like just like it's just like the list goes on. It really does. There's so many things to focus there's so many positive things to focus on of motherhood that, you know, you find out once you're a mom. Just checking my notes for anything else I really wanted to share with you all. But yeah, I think that's it. I shared a bunch of quotes. If you'd like me to make a post of all these quotes, I would love to do that on Instagram. Just comment or message me and let me know. Motherhood is beautiful. Let's be positive. We're starting the year positive. Even if like old habits have not died within the last, 2.5 weeks of this new year, it's okay. Don't put pressure on yourself. Don't put pressure on yourself as a wife, as a mom, as a woman. Like, don't put pressure on yourself. It's okay. Every day is new. Every day is new. A new opportunity to be a better mom, a better wife, a better person, a better friend, a better daughter, etc., etc. And, just keep pushing through There's so much beauty in motherhood, and God will equip you no matter what you face in the journey of motherhood. And I'm here for you too. I'm praying and hoping for all of us mommies to have strength, peace, guidance, joy, wisdom, and fun in this year. Happy 2025. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.